Hey everyone, it's Ellen here. Welcome to my channel. Today is Floral Friday and I'm painting a very loose, abstract fall floral. I'm just going to be showing you more of a demonstration today. This painting is in honor of a very close family member. I lost my poor aunt to Alzheimer's today, and I'm just dedicating this painting to her and all the joy that she brought to my life. So just sit back and relax, just watch me do the wet on wet, mixing the colors. I'll go through and tell you some of the colors, but basically I have magenta, peacock blue, Van Dyke brown, and cadmium yellow deep. And I use various brushes to create this effect. So let's get started. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I have a very exclusive videos over there weekly and some downloads for you to trace. So now I'm just going to be taking my brush and mixing up some paint colors. I have my magenta, I have my peacock blue. I'm making in some really deep, magenta toned, more in the purple range. I'll be taking my yellows, mixing with the blue and making some greens, and I'll be taking my magenta and mixing up some oranges with the yellow. I also have a Van Dyke brown right underneath the blue, and I mix that in with some of the colors just to tone it down a bit. It's like a little cheat. When I paint on my own, I always mix my colors first. When I do the tutorials, I'm mixing them as I go along to show you how I mix them. But when I'm painting by myself, I've already mixed pretty much generally a lot of colors first. And I'm going to paint a big wet on wet painting. You're going to want to mix a lot of color because the brushes are going to mop it up and you're not going to have enough. And if you want a particular color, you need to mix up a lot of it. So here I'm mixing the green. I like the brown going into that green. I'll be using some of the blues in with the other colors. I'm not necessarily using the blue itself. But this is how I start. I'm also using Arches 100% cotton paper. That was the Princeton Neptune number 6 brush that I'll just wash on some water sporadically around the paper, as you see here, so that when I put the paint down, it can bleed in certain areas and not bleed in certain areas. It's kind of like a little fun trick. And this is 100% Arches cold pressed paper, the best for wet and wet, in my opinion. I'm using a flat wash brush to start. You've seen some of my tutorials with this flat wash brush. I like to use it so I can go sideways and straight on, so you can create these big fat strokes and skinny strokes and really big ones, because if you're painting, this paper is 11 by 15, you're going to want to have a brush that can really make some really big blooms. Using a smaller brush is going to take you a lot longer, and it's not going to create the same kind of effect at the looseness that this one will. So I'll put this color down where I want in the big blobs of blooms, and I'll go in with like this. I have Princeton number 8 long round, and I'll go in and add some actual real petals, here and there, and it's a constant back and forth between the brushes. And you see, they're still damp, so it's bleeding a little bit. And the other one's bled, and I'll be layering this as I go along. I'm layering it, and it will still bleed, and I'll still layer it. And then at some point coming down the line, we are going to be lifting the paint. That's where you have a clean brush and you put some water on it, and you lift up the paint and dab it on the paper towel. So here I'm just adding more of this dark tones of these fun little petals. It's kind of like a abstract chrysanthemum, if you want to call it that. I don't even know, but I just had fun putting paint to the paper, enjoying my day, thinking how lucky we are to be alive. And if you're going through some stuff, just painting will bring you joy and keep your mind off of things. I did a lot of purple tones here today in honor of the people suffering from Alzheimer's. My aunt was the most beautiful person who had to suffer several years with this horrible disease. So here I'm going to add some water to the side with that big brush, and then that green can bleed, and I can add some more colors and whatnot to it. You're going to see me at some point, here you go, lifting up the paint. See, I have a clean brush and I'm lifting it and putting the paper towel, taking off the paint. It's like mopping up the paint, and you create this really light tone by doing that, and kind of a unique kind of style too. And I'll be adding the paint and whatnot. So sit back and relax, enjoy the demo. There is a brush that I use here and there, the liner brush. I didn't quite use it that much in this tutorial because it wasn't quite working the way I wanted to. But you'll see me just keep adding and taking away and adding and taking away. And then I'll wash some water around some of the flowers towards the end just to get that really loose feel again like I had in the beginning. If it starts to get dry, it doesn't have that looseness anymore. It becomes like this, you know, really tight petal, and I kind of want it to have this ethereal, like magical kind of feel to it. So again, sit back and relax, enjoy. Don't forget to hit the bell notifications to know my tutorials are up. Don't forget to check out my Patreon because I have exclusive tutorials over there. I did a really cool autumn landscape this week, so check that out. And I also have my amazing art channel, which is acrylics. It's in the description box and in the about page. So take care, guys. Hold your loved ones close, and every day is a gift. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.